So this weekend was Labor Day weekend. I decided to take a break from my working on my normal part series for the Oregon Backcountry Discovery Route. This last weekend we went out to Olypmic National Forest. We took my sister, my niece, and my father, Joanne and I did, to try out some of the I got it over here. It's the Olympic Mountain Loop GPS tour from Grip Twister Tours. It was a pretty good trip. There was the roads are pretty passable. There's one section that I'm going to look up and put the GPS coordinates in for. There's a rock that has fallen down and covered most of the roads. We had a hell of a time getting around it. I don't know if anything bigger than my Commander would go around it as it stands. The Cherokee made it around it, but the Cherokee wasn't the trailer, and the trailer got a little bit of a chunk taken out of the side of it, which of course is why I bought the trailer that I did. It took it and just kept going like a champ. It did go to show how thick the powder coat is on that CVT trailer. It's pretty thick. Yeah, I've also learned that the Kevlar reinforced tires that come with the Grand Cherokee Trailhawk, they're going as soon as I can get an appointment and find new tires. We had a puncture on the last trip, on the Oregon trip, and we patched it and we plugged it in it, and it made it, and it finished. And I've been driving on that plug for a long time, but it was just a little screw. On this last trip, we took a chunk. I mean, it wasn't even a chunk. I mean, the tire just kind of, I don't know, it pulled apart in the tread. I put a plug in it, just hoping, put a second plug in it because, I've done that before and it's done all right. And it was still leaking. And then I put a third plug in it. I know better than to drive on 3 plugs, but, I don't have the right spare tire. I mean, it's the right height, but it's not the right width. Other things that I noticed is that the difference in how the spare tire works is it's much narrower on the spare in the Trailhawk. The height seems to be the same, which of course is good with an full-time 4-wheel drive, but the width it's much narrower, which leaves the problem, of course, with dogs. Leaves the problem with where do you put the spare tire? Well, of course, you got to put the spare tire in. Well, the little bolt that holds the spare tire in isn't long enough to hold the factory wheel in place, or the replacement, the wheel you're replacing in place. And it's taller enough to where you can't actually put the lid back down on the inside anymore. So that was good and exciting. Other resources that I took just in case that I didn't use. I have all of the Olympic range Forest Service maps, and I took them. Of course, I didn't need them. I like these ones. They're similar to the motor use maps, but they're a little bit better. They show the terrain lines and the contour lines. And then I took this one because, well, yeah, and this is a nice one. So those are the maps that I took. I didn't need them. But overall, it was a pretty good trip. I'm gonna definitely go and use these routes some more. Whether or not I can do it. Whether or not I can do it this year, I don't know. I am headed down to Off the Grid with Overland Bound in less than a month. Headed south for that, and that's going to take up. I don't know if anybody is headed down that way as early as I am. I don't know what day I'm leaving, but I'm planning on getting there sometime on Thursday. So I'm going to leave myself plenty of time to not have to drive like a maniac. But I am going to be making, I'm going to be making some pretty good time as I drive down that way. So, if somebody's headed down that way during the same time frame with the same arrival time, let me know. We can link up, or we can keep an eye out for each other, whatever it happens to be. So, with all of that said, I'm going to shoot some pictures and show you guys some of what happened this weekend. did. I saw that. Oh, fudge. We weren't able to find any place anywhere near the river. Following the track, there's one little river crossing that we had to, we in order to make the loop and go back down around, we had to go follow this road, and some group of people had blocked the road with their cars. I'm on the think about the best of people. I'm going to assume that they didn't know that that was a water crossing and didn't realize that the road continued on the other side of the river. If they did know, well, it just means they're kind of a dick. But if they didn't know, they didn't know, and I'll give them a little bit of something for it, but they still probably should have paid attention. But it's going to get really, really hot really quick where we're at, so I think I'm going to get some breakfast, maybe fly the drone, get a spot, and see this site from above. Probably won't be anywhere near as good as the bridge footage from yesterday, but you know, it is what it is.